want to see Ellen Farmer's file. Thank you.
What's all we say here about a man being discovered and held over in isolation?
Sorry? A man in isolation?
Yeah, it was just a rumour I heard.
Oh, God, the rumours around here are getting worse and worse. I think that's one you could afford to ignore.
I wouldn't count on the department giving you anything else after that business with Dobson and Farmer.
Yeah. I suppose the department is upset about that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there were some big staff changes. We all know who'd be at the top of the list to go.
Get out for your exercise period, Smart.
Why are they letting him go like that? Ah, they'll probably wait till he gets down the road, then they'll pick him up again.
No, I don't think so. They've let him go, that's all. He's free.
How come they've released him and Laney's still here?
You know what I think? I think we have just witnessed the big cover-up.
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't look too good for the department or the cops if it was known that they had mistaken a male prisoner for a female prisoner. Can you imagine the publicity?
Well, I don't care why they did it. I'm just glad he's out. I don't know what I'm going to do without him.
Sorry to drag you out on a Sunday.
Not at all. You did the right thing. What are the women doing out here?
Exercise period.
They saw him go.
There wasn't much I could do about it.
Well, you could have waited till after the exercise period.
I thought it was best to get rid of him as quickly as possible. Anyhow, this lot would have found out sooner or later.
That may be so, but it's potentially a very explosive situation. The fewer witnesses, the better.
Hey, Mrs. Powell! How come Laney here didn't get released with her boyfriend? You know Ellen. Or maybe you know him better as Ellen.
So as soon as the police informed me the records had been destroyed, I did the same with ours.
Did they explain how the mix-up could have occurred?
No, it was all fairly cryptic. They just phoned and said that according to their records, no one of that name had ever been arrested for shoplifting or any other offence. To their knowledge, Ellen Farmer does not exist.
Well, I phoned Ted Douglas at home. As you can imagine, he was not impressed. On top of Smith's escape, this is the last thing we needed.
Yeah, well, officially it's been smothered, but I'm worried about it leaking to the press.
Yes, we must avoid publicity at all cost. Would you ensure that all visits are closely scrutinised? If there's the slightest mention of the incident, the visit is to be terminated immediately and all future visits cancelled.
Right.
Oh, and Mrs. Powell, would you inform the officers and staff that Ellen or Ellen Farmer never existed? Any talk to the contrary will be viewed with extreme disapproval.
I'll get onto it right away.
Alan's the only person who showed he cared about me.
What about your family, love?
Dunno. Well, they're around. Somewhere. Never saw much of them when I was a kid. Spent most of my time in girls' homes. But Alan used to make me feel like I was special. Not just one of the crowd.
So that's why the tattoos.
What do you mean?
To make yourself different, so that you did stand out in the crowd.
I don't know. Never thought of it like that before. Well, maybe you're right. Because after I got to know Alan, I didn't want him anymore. Even tried to get rid of him once by taking my skin off with steel wool.
Steel wool? Yeah, I tried that once. Didn't get far, though. Hurts like hell. Rather keep me tattoos.
Yeah. Well, even if I did have the guts to go on, just meant I'd be covered with scars instead.
Oh, love, that's awful.
Yeah, well, Alan found out and nearly hit the roof. He said if getting rid of them meant that much to me, we'd raise the money and have it done properly. Neither of us had proper jobs, so we started shoplifting and flogging stuff off.
And he'd never been mixed up in any funny business before?
No. It's all my fault he got in trouble. All because of these bloody tattoos.
Well, you are a couple of silly little things. But he seems a really nice bloke. So when this is all over, you just keep your noses clean and stick to the straight and narrow and look after each other.
Yeah. And don't worry about your tattoos. Some of the blokes I know find them a real turn on.
And that's it. Alan Farmer never existed. Do they honestly think they're going to get away with this?
Well, there are now no records to show that he was in here or that he was arrested.
Officially, yes. Do you know how things get around?
It is up to us to make sure they don't. Otherwise, we'd be a complete laughingstock.
That's going to happen anyway, isn't it? When news gets out about the new soft approach to the prisoners. The public won't thank us for turning the place into a holiday resort.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with that. We've always had far less trouble from the women when they've been treated more humanely.
Well, that's not quite true, Meg. They usually take advantage of the situation and end up spoiling it for themselves.
Well, not the majority of them. It's only been the odd troublemaker, and they'd give you trouble even if they spent their time in chains.
Maybe they'll let us give that a try when all this fails. And it's bound to.
Look, it is the department's decision, so it's up to us to make it work. I'd say that we have Jewel Clark's report to thank for their change of attitude.
Yeah, well, I was very dubious about her being in here. But obviously it's all worked out for the best.
God, save us from the Sweetness and Light Brigade.
And God save us from a fascist regime.
Hey, have you girls got a few fags you can let me have to buy up tomorrow? Miserable bloody bunch.
I've still got some tobacco stashed away, if you've got the money.
No, thank you. Not at the prices you charge.
Well, it's better than going without.
Oh, my friends won't let me go short.
Fair enough, Lizzie. I've got a few left and they'll last till tomorrow.
See? Some of us can't be held over a barrel, not anymore. And you can stick your bloody tobacco, and I don't mean in your pipe. Thank you, love.
Funny how the tide turns, isn't it? I mean, who'd have thought the department would relax its rules and knock the bottom right out of your little racket? I bet that's one of the reasons behind it. So that bludgers like you can't make whacking great profits out of your mates.
Mates? This lot? They're no different from me. Out for number one.
Oh, I wish Bea was here to see all our new privileges.
Yeah? Well, I reckon she might be having a few privileges of her own.
She'll be back. But she'd better be quick. These privileges aren't going to last forever. They never do. I tell you what, I'll make a book on it. Come on, ladies, place your bets. What? No takers?
How are you holding out for fags, love?
There aren't any. We smoked them all last night, remember?
My offer still stands.
No, thank you. I am not interested.
Well, as a special favour, I'll drop the price.
Even if you were giving them away, I still wouldn't want them. We'll be buy-up in a couple of hours, and I can hold out till then.
What about the rest of you? I've got some specials going. Chocolates, tobacco. Anybody else interested?
Well, looks like your trading empire's crumbling around your ears.
Rack off. I'll take over the press.
Why'd you let her get away with that?
Never let it be said that I stood in the way of King Kong taking a starring role.
Yeah, she don't look too happy, does she?
It's not just losing a trading power that hurts, it's losing the support of the women as well.
Oh, I wish Bea was here to see this.
Smart. You want it in the governor's office.
Oh, they're releasing me early?
I wish they were. Mr. Douglas and Mrs. Davidson want to see you as spokesman for the women.
Oh, well, it's no good me doing it. I'll be out of here in a couple of days. One of the other women better take it on.
Well, don't look at me.
Me neither.
Somebody has to do it, and I don't particularly care who.
Well, I'm available.
Ah, well, on second thoughts, I better go. After all, it was me that they asked for.
We had a meeting first thing this morning, and the department has decided to approve a medical practitioner, a dentist, and a social worker, as needed.
Well, that's wonderful. When does it all start?
Oh, almost immediately. We're also instigating a drug rehabilitation program, and we're hiring a specialist teacher for that illiterate girl. Oh, and any other women who need assistance in that area. He'll be starting today.
Today? That was quick.
Well, we thought the situation warranted immediate action.
Oh, Mr. Douglas, this has all come as a bit of a surprise, all happening so fast, and, well, I'm sure that if it all comes off, the women will really appreciate it. But at the moment, you can understand us all being a bit suspicious.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I'm sure that the women will feel there's an ulterior motive, and that given time, it'll all be taken away from them, and we'll be right back where we started.
Well, I can assure you that that definitely is not the case. We're genuinely concerned for the women's rehabilitation and welfare.
Well, look, I'll pass on to them what you've had to say.
Good, and if there are any further requests, we'll only be too happy to sit down and talk about them. Of course, you realize that if these things are to happen, we expect the women to cooperate with the staff. And after all, if we're to help them, they're to help us.
Yes,
Okay.
can I help you?
I'm John Maxwell.
Yes, Mr. Maxwell, and what can we do for you?
I'm the teacher the department hired.
Teacher?
Ah, John. I'm just speaking to the governor about you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Mr. Douglas. It seems I wasn't expected.
Yes, well, you jumped the gun. This is Miss Ferguson and Mrs. Morris.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, ladies. Things happened so quickly, I didn't have a chance to tell you. Mr. Maxwell is a specialist teacher. The department has hired him to help that young Henley girl and any of the other women who've got illiteracy problems.
Well, that's wonderful. We didn't even know the idea had been approved.
Yes. Well, good luck, John. I look forward to your report.
Thank you, Mr. Douglas. I'll do my best.
Morning, ladies.
Well, if you go and get Henley and anyone else who's interested from the workshop, I'll introduce Mr. Maxwell to the governor, and then we'll meet you in the library.
Okay. Do you have much of a success rate in this field, Mr. Maxwell?
Oh, yes, fairly high.
Henley will set your averages back.
And you reckon they're going to give us the lot?
Yep, looks like it.
Yeah, well, what's the catch?
I can't tell. All Douglas said was he expected the women to appreciate what they were doing and cooperate with the staff, but there were no actual demands.
Yet.
Yeah, well, I can't work it out. I mean, they're bending over backwards to keep us happy, and there's got to be a reason.
Well, I say let's take everything we can get while the going's good. Do you reckon there's anything else we could ask for?
Yeah, how about letting our boyfriends in for occasional visits? Say overnight?
Well, we used to have conjugal visits some time ago, but they stopped those. It caused a lot of bad feelings.
Bad feelings, eh? I'd call them terrific.
Well, I was thinking of asking the department if they'd mind me carrying on my trade while I was in here.
Well, you'd have one regular customer, old Ferguson.
Move it out.
I think I'll give it a miss.
You're all a pack of fools. Can't you see what they're doing? The more they give you now, the more it'll hurt when they take it away.
God, you're a bloody great pain in the bum, McKenzie.
Oh, I wonder what's for lunch today, because I'm starving.
Well, the way they've been treating us lately, it could be pheasant under glace and champagne.
It's more likely to be sausage and a cup of wheat tea.
Get moving.
What the hell is the department up to? These new privileges allowing the women to get almost anything they want is killing our business.
Don't like it any more than you do. But we just got to put up with it for the time being.
You might, but I don't. What we got to do is get the sort of stuff in they can't get on their regular buyer.
Such as?
Booze or dope.
Forget it, dope's out.
Don't tell me you're scared.
I said no dope, McKenzie.
All right. What are we going to do?
We? I'm all right. You'll just have to grin and bear it.
Don't bet on it, freak.
Ladies, keep the noise down. Birdsworth, now listen. This makeup is to be only used on special occasions or for visiting, understood?
Righto, Birdsworth, the cigarettes here, biscuits, toothpaste, and hand cream?
Hand cream.
Oh, well, me hand's getting ruined in the laundry, Mrs. Powell. Hey, what'd you get, love?
I didn't bother. I'm getting out in a couple of days, so it wasn't worth it.
Oh. How'd you go? Did you get everything you want?
Yeah, look.
Oh, there.
I got a couple of bikie mags, a copy of the Rolling Stone, and another bikie poster.
Oh, and Dobson, by the way, your hearing's been set for the day after tomorrow. Thanks.
Day after tomorrow, eh? I get released the same day. Maybe we could share a paddy wagon back into town together.
Hey, see you all later. We're going to put our things away.
All right up. Hey, come on. Chin up. It's your first time up. They'll go easy on you.
Oh, I hope so. Thanks.
This is terrific, Lizzie. What do you reckon you'll ask for next time?
Couple of new dresses, a mint coat, and maybe a bikini to wear during my exercise period. What about you?
I reckon I'll ask for a blow-up Mel Gibson doll.
Oh, yeah. I think I'll have one of Gary Cooper.
Who's Gary Cooper?
Well, he's almost as masculine as a freak, only twice as pretty.
What's so funny, Birdsworth? Have you been on the booze again?
Oh, no, Miss Ferguson. They wouldn't let you have any of that on your buy-up. But the way things are improving around here, I reckon that just might be the next on the list.
Yeah, things are getting to be so good, I might have to do something about getting the sentence extended.
Don't try too hard, Daniels, or you'll find yourself in solitary without any privileges. And get to your cell and stop the racket.
Come in. Yes, Miss Ferguson.
Governor, I would like to make an official complaint regarding the current lax attitude towards the treatment of prisoners.
Oh, has there been some trouble?
Not in the sense of actually breaking the rules, no.
Well, then?
Some of the women are actually getting to the point of enjoying their stay here.
I hardly think enjoying is the appropriate word.
Oh, you didn't see them after the buy-up. Now that they can get any goods they want, they think that...
Ferguson, of course they would be excited now they can purchase a wider range of goods.
They're supposed to be prisoners. It's not a holiday camp.
Nor is it a concentration camp. They are paying for their crimes by losing their freedom. Making life unpleasant for them certainly won't equip them for a normal life when they return to society.
If conditions are too lax, it only encourages them to become recidivists. Look, they've got to learn to respect and fear the system. Otherwise, they won't hesitate in committing another crime the moment they get out.
Miss Ferguson, the department sets the rules, and it is our job to follow them. Your objections have been noted and will go on my next report. Now, unless you are in a position to lay a formal charge against the prisoner, I would suggest you return to your duties.
God, I thought the freak was going to burst a blood vessel.
Blood? What blood? She's only got ice in her veins.
Yeah, she really hates to see anyone having a good time, doesn't she?
Good I do, Miss B. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever see her again. I hope she's all right.
She'll be all right, Lizzie. She'll probably wait till things cool off a bit, then she'll send you a postcard. Hey, want to have a look at me bikie magazine?
Of course.
Thought there might be a cup of coffee going or something.
Just in time. Take a seat, love. I won't.
Thanks.
Looking a bit down, love. Missing Helen, eh? Well, don't worry. You'll see him soon. Probably at the court. When did you say your case is?
Day after tomorrow. I asked Mrs. Powell if he could come and visit me. She pretended she'd never even heard of him.
Oh, well, if they're going to play that game, then there's no reason why they shouldn't let him come. He'd just be another visitor.
What happens if they never let him come and visit me? I mean, I'm sure to be sent up, and I could be in here for months. What'll I do then?
Now, look, love. Don't you get worked up about something that might never happen. Just wait and see what happens in court first, eh?
Hey, Lenny, good luck with your trial.
Thanks.
Mrs. Powell, are you sure the department will let me hitch a ride back into town?
Oh, don't worry, Smart. There'll be a wagon for you soon enough.
Oh, well, now, here is a likely candidate to give a poor girl a lift back into town.
Oh, I don't think we're going the same way.
Well, just to the nearest cab rank will be fine. Besides, there's a few things that I want to have a discussion with you about.
The women have more requests, do they?
Oh, well, sort of. You see, I was wondering if there might be a place in the department for my services.
Oh, I don't think so. You see, it's a rather specialised field.
So's mine.
I don't think so, really.
You see, I was thinking that seeing as though the department is trying to keep the prisoners happy, well, I'd return the compliment. I mean, it's not as if I'd be exactly a stranger, and you would be surprised at how many mutual friends we have in the department.
Oh, Colleen, Mrs. Davidson just phoned. She'll see you in office now.
Right.
What are you laughing at?
Smart. She's propositioning Douglas.
What?
Come on.
Oh, sit down, Mrs. Powell. I've just had a very enlightening conversation with Mr. Douglas.
Oh, well, that's interesting because I've just left him having a very enlightening conversation with Helen Smart.
Well, I'm sure he didn't enlighten her as to why the department has suddenly become so solicitous about the prisoners' welfare.
No, but I would certainly like to know.
Well, the department has very generously given permission for a television current affairs program to come in and film the day-to-day activities of life in Wentworth Detention Centre.
Oh, I see. A little public relations to show that the department is doing everything in its power to help the prisoners rehabilitate themselves.
And also to show how good our security arrangements are to counteract any bad publicity we've had in the past few years. I've been instructed to rearm the perimeter guards.
That won't be popular. And won't that just cut across the image they're trying to create?
It's to show that the public are being protected and that escapees like B. Smith are intractable criminals that will not take advantage of the opportunities offered to them.
Oh, she'd love that.
The department would also like some of the women interviewed.
That could be dangerous.
Yes, I agree. We'll have to be very careful in our selection. Now, I would like all available officers rostered whilst the film crew are here. Would you attend to those details?
Right. Does this mean that as soon as the filming's finished, the regulations will return to normal?
I really don't know, but I sincerely hope the women don't lose the few things they've gained.
Okay. When is the great whitewashing to begin?
Tomorrow.
He's really terrific for a teacher. He makes everything seem so much easier than when I was at school.
Bit of a stud, is he?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, that's why it's easier. If John Travolta had taught me at school, I would have finished up a genius too.
It's nice to see you all in such a happy frame of mind. I have another piece of good news for you. We are all about to feature in a television program.
Oh. Which one is it, Mrs. Davidson?
Newsbreak, Lizzie. Now, some of you will be asked about your day-to-day activities. And you, Henry, will probably be interviewed about your new class and how you're progressing. So all in all, it shall be quite exciting.
Hey, Lizzie, they might make you a star. Beauty! Watch out, Lillian Gish.
Filming will be starting tomorrow morning, so naturally I expect you all to be on your best behaviour. Well, thank you, ladies. That's all for now.
Let's get back to work.
Hey, we'll be able to tidy ourselves up. Special occasion.
Hey, Di, can I borrow your lippy tomorrow? Wish I could wear me best red cardie. Brings out the colour in me eyes.
You'd better wear your new mat as a turban, Wrinkles. You're not going to have it much longer.
Don't worry about her, Lizzie. It's just sour grapes. Because they won't want to use her ugly mug on the TV.
All right. Now, I know it's going to cause disruptions and a lot of inconvenience, but I'm afraid we're going to have to make the best of it.
Yeah, well, let's hope that once this fiasco is over, we can get down to running the prison the way it should be done, without frills.
Well, as long as the women don't lose the new concessions they've won. I mean, they've been much better behaved.
Oh, what are you talking about, better behaved? They're already taking advantage of the situation.
Please! Come on, the purpose of this meeting is to adjust the rosters and to discuss the practical aspects of the security measures. Now, any personal opinions of the department's attitude, they can be discussed in your own time. Okay? Now, as regards this new roster.
God, what am I going to say? I've never done anything like this before.
Oh, it'll be a piece of cake. You just tell them what that teacher's been doing with you.
God, you're a thick lot. Can't you see what they've done? It's all a setup.
What are you talking about?
All the perks, the extra things you can buy, the doctor's visits. It's all a blind to make them look good.
We know that. We're not dumb. As long as they're trying to make a better deal for us, we're going to take what we can get.
Yeah. I wouldn't be learning how to read and write if they hadn't sent in a teacher.
Wake up to yourselves, will you? How long do you think they'll keep it up after they've got their precious publicity? And as far as your teacher is concerned, well, we'll see how long he sticks around after you've finished learning the alphabet.
You're a real little ray of sunshine, aren't you? Listen, we're going to take what we can get while we can get it, so go stick your head in the dunny can.
Thank you.
Four weeks. You were lucky.
Yeah, wasn't I? I could hardly believe my ears when the magistrate passed sentence. Mrs. Morris, Alan was outside the court, but I couldn't get a chance to talk to him. I was wondering whether I could just see him once before I get out of here.
Well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but he has rung a few times to see how you were and asked whether he could visit you, but permission was withheld.
You mean I won't get to see him till I get out of here?
Why don't you wait until things calm down a bit? After all, 4 weeks isn't forever.
Hi, Mrs. Morris. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Judy. How's the new house?
Well, you'd hardly recognise it. Hello there. I'm Judy Bryant. I run the halfway house.
And this is Lainey Dobson. She could be asking your advice in about 4 weeks' time.
Well, I'll do what I can, but I can't promise anything.
Well, if it isn't our careers advisor, how's business?
So, Mrs. Davidson, business is booming. In fact, I got some very good news for a couple of the girls.
Wonderful. Judy, could you spare me a few minutes before you start your rounds?
Oh, sure. Good. I'll catch up with you later.
Right, let's get you processed in. Stand on the white line.
Well, times are a-changing. Nothing like that ever happened when I was in here.
Yes, the women are very excited about it.
Oh, hey, was there any news on the medical services they requested?
Yes. A local doctor and dentist have been secured on a part-time basis. And the department's social workers have been instructed to give the Wentworth inmates top priority.
Huh. Well, that just goes to prove they can move fast if they want to. You don't think that the speed has anything to do with the current affairs program, do you?
I only work for the department, but I don't think it'll do any of us any harm. Speaking of the film, would you be prepared to do an interview on your position as careers advisor?
Well, that won't do the department any harm either. Ex-con makes good.
Will you do it?
Don't see why not. I mean, I don't mind being used as long as it's for a good cause.
G'day, love. How'd it go?
You're right. They did go easy on me. I only got 4 weeks.
Ripper, I'm really glad for you. Any news of Helen?
Yeah, he was at the trial. God, did I panic when I saw him. Thought he was going to dob himself in. A lot of good that would have done. So I got me solicitor to tell him to keep out of it or I wouldn't talk to him again.
Oh, good on you, love. The time will go really quickly. You'll see.
It's still going to seem like 4 years.
What are you doing here, Birdsworth?
Just leaving, Miss Ferguson.
No right to be here in the first place. Now get going or you'll be on a charge. What the hell do you think you're doing, Dobson? Get to the laundry.
I was told I didn't have to work if I didn't want to.
Read your rule book, girl. You're not in remand now. You've been convicted. And sentenced. You've joined the scum. And you'll work like the rest of them. You thought you were pretty smart smuggling your boyfriend in here, didn't you? Well, I won't forget it. This is a prison, Dobson. And a prison is for punishment. And, this prison is my domain.
Mark? Anyone seen Mark? Right, we're starting with a close-up of one of the guards' rifles, and we're pulling back to a long shot, and then you walk in the frame.
Right.
Good. Good. Bill, set up the high legs where Debbie is.
Suppose all this must look pretty confusing to you.
Yes, but it's very interesting. I had no idea it took so much preparation.
Oh, yes. Fortunately, they're a very good crew, right on the ball.
Well, you've got a very interesting job.
Yes, I like it. It gives me a chance to get around and, well, see things as they really are. Well, this place, for instance. You know, it looks exactly as I thought it would look. Austere, cold, unfriendly.
Oh, well, of course, that's only from the outside. We need these strict security measures to help protect the public. We do have some rather intractable characters in here from time to time.
I can imagine.
You'll get a completely different picture on the inside. I mean, the discipline is still there, but we believe that the women should still be treated with dignity.
Can I be excused now, Governor? It's time to start my patrol.
Yes, of course, Miss Ferguson. I think we might all go in now, unless we're required for anything.
No, I think we're just about to start shooting the first scene anyway.
Right. Are you coming, Mr. Douglas?
No, I think I'll stay and watch for a while. Oh, that is if I won't be in the way.
Well, not at all. Someone will yell at you if you are, anyway.
Oh, good.
Oh, come on, ladies. Will you keep the noise down, please? They'll be doing the laundry bits in a minute, so will all the laundry women keep together?
Oh, how do you reckon my hair looks?
Oh, Lizzie, for the 5th time, it looks great.
Hey! How can you read at a time like this?
I'm practicing, just in case they ask me to read.
Yeah? Well, I hardly think they'll be interested in the tales of Mary and Joe.
Well, I don't want to be caught out.
Fair enough.
Just about ready.
Oh, thank heavens for that.
Oh, my God. Well, I think allowing them to wear makeup was a huge mistake. Look at them. Half of them look like tarts.
Half of them are.
All right, ladies, please. I think most of the makeup can be wiped off. Apparently the director wants realism.
What's the difference? The whole thing's just a circus anyway. If they want realism, let them sneak back in a month when everything will be back to normal.
Shut up, McKenzie. Right, all those from the laundry section move out. Keep the noise down! Think we'll see the day out?
Cut.
Was that better?
Yeah. But look, I've just had an even better idea to start the scene. Everybody, relax for a moment.
Wish he'd make up his bloody mind.
Hello.
G'day. You work at the Channel, do you?
Right,
Yeah.
Mark, when you're ready.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a close-up on this girl's tattooed hand and then pull back to you.
I'd rather you didn't do that.
What?
Oh, I don't want to show me tattoos.
Oh, you can use mine if you like, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, personally, I don't care whether the department are doing it for good public relations or not, just as long as the women get better conditions.
You're right, of course. It's just a pity they weren't given out of sheer necessity.
Oh, Meg. Apparently the next scene's to be shot in the garden. Apparently we're going to show the women during a typical exercise period. Get this lot out and get them organised, will you?
Yes, of course. How's it going out there?
Helen Morse has got nothing to worry about.
All right, ladies, it's now your turn for stardom. Everybody out into the garden.
Well, I think I'll give this a miss.
Coward.
Cut. Okay, tell us later. Is it all right, Bill? Debbie, print it.
Hey, Di. Get later to start.
Yeah.
All right, the next setup.
Oh, he's
the volleyball.
sort of cute.
Right.
I don't know. See one, you've seen them all.
Hey! Oh, fair go, Lizzie. Get a look at those tight jeans. I'm gonna chat him up. Might get a packet of fags out of him. Nothing else.
Oh, so how long's the show been going?
Oh, about 2 years.
When
It's
you're
one of the
ready,
top
Mark.
ones. Right, Jim.
I hear the Tonight Show's pretty good too, isn't it?
Brad Henson show. Yeah, it rates well.
I used to know him once, before he's rich and famous. Do you run into him much?
Brad, yes, we're good mates.
Oh, well, next time you see him, give him my regards. Tell him I often think of the old days. Tell him I'll bet there's a few things he'd like us both to forget.
Yeah, like what?
He'll know. The name's McKenzie. Nola McKenzie.
Right, well, I think Jim wants to talk to me, so see you.
Yeah, all right. Two packets. There's one.
Daniels. Come on, hand them over.
What?
Those.
Oh, leave off, they're mine.
Carry the whole carton around with you, do you?
I tell you, they're mine. You ask Lizzie.
All right, what's going on here?
Just caught Daniels with some contraband, sir.
Contraband?
Yes. One of the film crew gave us some cigarettes.
Oh, well, I don't think there's any need to make such a fuss. All right, Daniels, back to your friends, but keep away from the film crew, all right?
Well, thanks, Mr. D.
Miss Ferguson, I want everything to run smoothly today, and it would seem that you're disrupting things. I would not like to see that happen. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Organize Daniels and Birdsworth for their interview then, all right?
And how would you describe the disciplinary treatment in here? Well, would you say it was harsh, lenient, necessary, or perhaps sometimes unwarranted?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps it depends on the magnitude of the misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, are you allowed hobbies or sporting equipment during your recreation?
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, we do now. We've never had it so good. This last week's been bonza, but you should have been here before that. All we had was a rotten old ping-pong table.
Why did they pick those two of all people?
Cut. Can we have some quiet, please? All right, all right. Now, let's take this one all over again. And ladies, please, don't look so nervous. Just relax and say whatever you feel. We can always cut it out of the film later if it's no good. We've got plenty of it, all right?
Oh, well, I, for one, am glad today's over.
Yes, well, I think it was worth it. It's a nice change of routine for the women, too.
Crap. It's just an excuse to get out of doing a decent day's work. Oh, and just imagine the public outcry when that rubbish goes to air.
Well, no matter how you feel about it, I don't think it's going to paint a very rosy picture of a home away from home.
Well, I thought Mike Hayes handled the interviews really well, especially the one with Henley. God, she's come a long way in a short time, hasn't she?
Yes, and that's another positive step that's come out of the department's new attitude.
What difference do you think it's going to make to her? The only advantage will be that she'll be able to write out her own application for the dole.
Oh, there you are. I just wanted to thank you all for today. Mr. Payne and Mr. Hayes were more than happy with the material they obtained. I thought the women were most cooperative.
Must be relieved.
Yes, I am.
Coffee?
Oh, yes, thank you.
I trust that things will now get back to normal, Governor. At the moment, the women seem to be getting away with everything.
I hope that is an exaggeration, Miss Ferguson. If the prisoners misbehave, they have to be punished. But just remember, the punishment must be just and warranted.
Of course, Governor. It goes without saying.
You think this sort of thing's easy for a non-dancer?
Brad, I think you should have stuck to race calling and sports commentating. Fred Astaire, you ain't.
It's a wonder I don't get arrested for impersonating a song and dance man.
Listen, that reminds me. You know, we were out at Wentworth Prison today getting some shots for our show. Ran into an old flame of yours.
An old flame? What are you on about?
Well, that's what she said. Said she knew you in the old days and wanted to be remembered to you.
What was she doing at Wentworth?
Well, she certainly wasn't visiting.
She made a mistake. You know what these women are like.
Now, I think this one was on the level. Said something about she knew you before you were rich and famous, and that there was something she thought you'd like to forget.
Sounds like a con job to me. What was her name?
Nola McKenzie.
Never heard of her. Must have been drunk at the time.
Well, going on what she looks now, I can believe it. Anyway, I've got a production meeting. Got to go. See you later.
Right.
And Birdsworth, Dobson, Henley and McKenzie, laundry.
That'll make a nice change.
Shut up, Birdsworth.
I wonder what she's got lined up for me.
And Daniel's cleaning duties, shower block.
What? All of them on my own?
I've warned you before about answering back, Daniel, so as a special bonus you can clean the corridors.
Excuse me, there's a visitor for McKenzie.
A visitor for me? Who is it?
Your cousin from Perth.
Oh, which one?
William McKenzie?
Oh, good old Bill.
All right, get going. Report straight back to the laundry afterwards.
Now, I'm going to arrange a couple of visitors for the freak one day. Mafia hitmen.
All right, you lot, move out. Except Daniels. I want a word with you. Now, I heard what you just said, and that comes under the heading of insubordination, and that's against the rules, Daniels. And according to the governor, you break the rules, you've got to be punished. Come on.
Where to?
To your cell. We don't want to be disturbed, do we? Right! Now, for punishment, you will lose certain privileges, and that includes all the little bits and pieces you've recently acquired. Now, for a start, those posters, get them down. Don't make it any worse for yourself, Daniels. Get them down now. Oh, dear, it's torn. What a pity. Let's see how strong the other are.
Please, I'm sorry I won't jump back again.
Well, you should have thought of that before you shut your mouth off, Daniel.
I'll let them have a minute training.
Oh, what a shame. And it's going to be a long time before you do. But don't take it too bad, Daniels. Just think of it as a Bible lesson. What the department giveth, the officers can taketh away. Get on with your duties.
Nola, it's terrific seeing you again after all these years.
Hello, Bill. Well, you haven't changed. I know you almost anywhere.
Well, I was over on a bit of business, so I thought I'd drop in and see you.
Well, I must admit you're the last person I expected to see.
Well, when I heard you in this terrible place, I said, right, Bill, you must go and visit poor old Nola and bring a bit of happiness into her life.
That was real thoughtful of you, Bill.
Yeah, is it all right if we walk around a bit?
All right, then, but as long as you don't go too far and there's to be no physical contact.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
OK, mister. What's the game?
Well, we have a mutual friend in the television business.
Oh, good. So my message got through?
Yes, and he's a bit concerned that certain facts might accidentally be brought out into the open.
Oh, no. It won't be accidental.
Now, let's get this straight. He won't come at blackmail.
Oh, yes, he will. His career means too much to him, not to mention the huge contract he just signed.
Look, most of the taxation department gets that.
Don't sweat on it. It's not his money I'm after.
Well, what is it you're after?
Dope.
You must be joking.
Oh, no, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. He'll make a regular delivery. Oh, it's not the hard stuff I'm after. Just some uppers and pop, maybe a little bit of hash.
Look, I don't know about dope.
He'll do it. If he wants to hang on to his career and keep out of jail.
Yeah. Well, I'll pass on the message.
You do that. Cousin Bill.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known. right.